Get going with Valley schedule. Excited to get going with Valley schedule. Talk to our guys Saturday after the Drake game, and basically what the Valley schedule means is you got a ranked team coming in, or a ranked team that you're playing week after week after week after week, and that's the great challenge and the great opportunity of our conference. Certainly some good things to take away from the Drake win. Thought our guys hit the ground running from a play standpoint. We talked about getting off to a good start, and an opening kickoff return is there's not much of a better way to start a football game than that. And from there on, I thought our defense dominated the game offensively. We really went into the game wanting to develop some better balance in our offense. Thought we were able to do that. A pretty balanced attack, throwing and running the football. So some things to build on moving forward here as we prepare for a really good Southern Illinois team.
Wofford, go ahead when you're ready.
Morning, Coach. How are you?
Good, thanks.
When you look back at the film from Saturday, you obviously mentioned the penalties right after that game, but was there anything else that you kind of pinpointed as some areas of emphasis you want to improve on this week?
We got to play more consistently up front, offensively. We were okay, but you can't just be okay in the Valley. You gotta. I think we can play better there. I think that was one of the key things that we walk away from. Got to be more consistent with our run game. Drake does a lot of movement. Southern Illinois does a lot of movement. So there's some, even though they're different defensively, some of the things that we didn't do well against Drake, we're going to have to do at a much higher level of execution against Southern Illinois. That, and very disappointed that we turned the ball over twice when we're trying to close out the football game. Those are things that we take great pride in, understanding situational football, and to turn the ball over twice there, even though the game was well in hand, you can't do against teams in the Valley, because it'll cost you.
Aiden finally seemed to find a little bit of a rhythm on Saturday for seemingly the first time this season. What's the key to keeping him rolling and keeping his confidence up?
Yeah, I think we put him in good positions throwing the football. He made some really good decisions. There were a couple times versus pressure, he got the ball out of his hand quickly. I think the first 2 weeks, obviously against Northern State, didn't have to throw the football. The way that game worked with 2 special team touchdowns and building a lead early, we just didn't throw the football very much, didn't need to. Against Wisconsin, the way that the game flowed, we felt like we left some yards on the table in the passing game there, and this week we're better, and I think we can even be better. We're going to need to be better because we're playing an outstanding defense this week.
Just looking at tape, what are your first impressions of Southern Illinois?
Very talented, very physical football team. They're like a lot of teams that you're going to face in the Valley. That from that standpoint, very talented, very physical. Their strengths, I think, offensively, they've got really, really good perimeter players. They're throwing the ball around a lot offensively, utilizing that talent. Not that they don't have balance, but they've leaned a little heavier on the passing game the last few weeks, and so they're going to make you defend the field from sideline to sideline, and they're going to make you defend the field vertically as well. Defensively, again, I talk about, them being a different level physically than what we saw this last week, bigger. And they're very challenging. They're not afraid to play man-to-man coverage. They'll run a lot of movement and pressure schemes. And so offensively, you got to have a really good plan. You got to be consistent. And you're going to have to take advantage of every scoring opportunity when you get one.
Looking at your front four through your first three games, what have been your impressions with some of those position changes with Mike Keys and Nick and how they've done so far?
Yeah, I think our starting front four is a very talented group, and they really dominated the football game on Saturday. I was really pleased as we got into the second half and substituted more. That we continued to see really good play out of our defensive front. It's a position that you need depth. As you go through the year, even in games where you're going to play, a fair number of defensive snaps, having the ability to roll guys at that position group is really important, and I think we're developing some depth there. But that starting front, I thought it was really good against the run, and then our ability to be able to put pressure on a quarterback, rushing for, which we were able to do consistently throughout the day, is big defensively as well.
Looking at Nick Gay specifically, he's got 3.5 sacks through 3 games. Seems like he makes 2 or 3 big plays every game. Right now, he's been working from outside. Just what has he been doing this season that has impressed you?
Yeah, he's a playmaker, for sure. We moved him from inside. He's playing more outside, although he'll still play some inside in certain packages. He's a very hard guy to block. He's when you put him on the edge, he's pretty big for an edge rusher. He's 270 plus pounds, really quick when you put him inside. So he can create, some matchup difficulties for defense, and he's taking advantage of that.
All right, sweet. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, coach, just looking at Southern Illinois dual quarterback system so far throughout the year, how do you guys kind of prepare to see 2 different quarterbacks, one that also leads their team in rushing right now?
Yeah, be interesting to see, the one didn't play at all last week. Our understanding that was due to injury, and I don't know where he'll be with regard to this week. Sounds like it may not possibly be available, but didn't stop them from throwing the football all over the place, which is what they've been doing a lot over the course of the season so far. They've got really good skilled players on the perimeter, and so trying to find ways to utilize those players is a big part of what they're doing offensively.
Yeah, after the Wisconsin game, you kind of mentioned putting you guys in better positions on third down. You guys did a real good job putting yourself in good positions to get to the sticks, manageable. How's that going to continue going into this week?
Really important this week, because this is the kind of defensive football team that can generate negative plays offensively. So we've got to avoid negative plays, to work to stay on schedule, to allow us to be more effective on third down. I still think we've got opportunities that we can be better in that area. Percentage wise, we were pretty good on Saturday, but honestly, we left a couple of opportunities on the field that should have been first downs. And in games like this, when every possession is going to be of high value, you got to extend every possession when you have an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and then just previous weeks, Charles Pierre Jr. was kind of the highlighted back performance-wise. How does it feel to kind of see Tice step back up into his normal role and produce?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be that way all year, quite frankly. You know, where uh, one could be the leading rusher one week and the other could be the leading rusher the next week. Some of it is just who pops a long run. You know, they're both going to play. You know, Travis does a lot for our football team, you know, outside of just the times that he carries the football. You know, there were a couple of pass protection situations where, you know, we had cut a guy loose and Travis picked him up. You know, Travis's lead blocks. Even you go back to, you know, the opening kickoff return. You know, Travis as the off returner had a key block on that return for a touchdown. But yeah, you know, I think he averaged 10 yards a carry on Saturday, only carried the ball 9 times. Actually, Charles carried the ball more, but you know, Travis broke a couple of big runs and as a result was our leading rusher. But those two are complementing each other really, really well right now, and it allows us to keep a really fresh running back in the football game throughout the course of 4 quarters.
And then just last one for me, we saw a lot of misdirection on the offense going into that Drake game. Can we see a lot more of that as the season progresses?
Yeah, it gives us an opportunity to find ways to get some of our talented perimeter players involved. You saw a couple of reverses and, you know, some speed motion looks that are things that we need. I think it fits our talent level right now offensively, and so we'll continue to build on those packages to hopefully you know, find some ways to attack defenses that get those guys in some space.
Well, with that, it might be short and sweet. Thanks everyone for popping on this week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.